given the front hubs and rear hubs a quick coat of high temperature paint. Just mask them up, degrease them, and they're looking much better. The new studs have arrived from NTG for the disc wheels, and they are 1 13/16 long. You can clearly see there's a size difference to the stud for the Y wheel. So there seems to be two ways to put these in. You can either put a nut up on the thread and with a ratchet wind them in. I think what I'm going to try first is just seeing if I can do the reverse of how I got them out, which is just to tap them back in. I'll have an experiment. Going in a little bit. Yeah, slowly they're going in. A little bit. Not sure I want to hit them any harder than that. I might just try a nut, see if I can wind that in. The MG Guru suggests putting a series of old washers, which I've sort of cobbled together, and then using the stud nut that holds the wheel on to try and wind it in. I'm just going to see if that works, but I don't want to put this in the vise because it'll probably scratch it. So I might just see if I can do it by hand. So I've got a 3/4 socket on there. No, there's no way I'm going to generate the leverage I needed on that. Right, so I'm going to need to generate a bit more leverage. So I'm going to have to find a way of holding that one. I think it is working. I'll just try maybe a bigger lever. So I've had to put it in the vise, and I'm just going to use a little bar just see if I can coax it in. But again, I've got to be a little bit careful that I don't sort of over torque it. Oh. Yeah, it's definitely winding it in slowly. I imagine I've got another couple of millimetres to go. That's alright so far. That seems to be the best method. Nearly there. Doesn't look like anything's twisting or straining. Definitely tougher getting them in than knocking them out. So I'll do one more. Yeah, I think that's home. Wow. Now, can I release that nut? Yes, no problem with that, because that's just winding it in. Okay, so that looks like the method. I was advised that it might need a little tap. Doesn't damage that too much. Good. Yes. Good. So it looks like that is the way to wind them in. I'll just try and do the other ones, I think. Okay. Confidence is starting to grow, worryingly. So it looks like what I'm doing is I have got, as again as the MG Guru suggests, I've got a stack of old washers. I'm putting them over the stud because as the stud pulls through you actually need more washers. I am using the wheel nut because that fits quite nicely on the top. I've also put, I don't know if I should, I've put a little bit of grease on the splines of the stud, and then I've got a little bar, and that's making it nice and easy just to take up the tension in the nut and the washers. And then I'm just very gently, again I'm not really using any effort, but it is quite nice just gently winding. It's not really gripping in there, is it? It's very nice just gently winding the stud in. why that one feels, the other one came in very nicely. That's there isn't too much effort required, and you can feel the bind as the stud hits the back of the hub, so you know when it's had enough. But that definitely seems to be the way to do it. A few washers and a bolt, just gently wind it in. But actually that is the one that's taking most resistance. I don't know why, but I'm going to just go really careful. That's going in. Feels like it's there. Oh no, not quite, just another little one there maybe. Pretty much in there, so that's good. Longer studs in the hubs. We'll just go in another 0.5 millimetre. Yeah, they are. That's the stop. Good. Yeah, that's in now. Brilliant. So actually, that is probably the way to go. If you buy the new hubs, they're anywhere between about £118. Obviously the bearings are, well, depending whether you just buy the bearings or the whole set of seals, that price varies. So the studs work out at about £5.40 each for the longer studs, plus that, plus a bit of garage. So for 50 quid you can replace the studs on the hubs. And I think it's a fairly, well, it's like everything, you gain your confidence doing this, don't you? I was a bit worried about doing that as well, but it looks like they've wound in really nicely. So I've now got the longer studs on the hubs for about 50 quid. Everything else is done. I can now grease the bearings and start thinking about putting that on the axle. So I will do the other hub in exactly the same way. Good. Alright. So disc wheel studs in a hub to replace the shorter wire wheel studs.